Now at 5, we have a winter storm warning in effect throughout the overnight hours tonight. We're going to break this all down for you.
Check out the 30th annual Joplin Business Expo, giving local business owners a chance to meet.
As President Biden faces scrutiny over classified documents, another batch is found, this time at former Vice President Mike Pence's Indiana home. I'm Skylar Henry at the White House with reactions and a timeline of the discovery.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Several inches of snow are expected to blanket much of the 4-state area. This is KOAM News at 5. I'm Dow Quick. We go straight to Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy for our first look at the weather.
Yeah, we've been tracking this storm system throughout the entire day. Everybody in the pink here is under winter storm warning, so that includes all of northeastern Oklahoma, southwest Arkansas, and then down into parts of northwest Arkansas as well. Everybody in the bluish, purplish winter weather advisories, where snowfall amounts are going to be a little bit less as we go through the overnight hours tonight. But look at all this moisture lifting in. We're still mainly seeing rain. We're getting mixture of snow at times, which is making the ground white in spots, but mainly rain. Southwestern Missouri switching over to snow in parts of Kansas. It's fairly light right now, but this will start to pick up in intensity as we go through the evening hours. Temperatures, most of us are hovering above freezing. And as we go through the evening hours, look how the blue kind of overtakes the region. You stay rain, northern counties for the next several hours, and then eventually everybody over the snow by the time we get into about 11 p.m., midnight or so. Of course, we're going to talk about how much we're going to get here in just a bit.
All right, we'll see you soon. Meteorologist Sam Lane is out getting a first-hand look at the conditions. Let's go to him live now near Interstate 44 in Ottawa County, Oklahoma.
Up just a little bit. It's getting ready to go into that transition. I can see a few flakes starting to come down a little bit. Of course, that transition is going to occur over the next several hours. We're going to be moving further to the east over into southwestern Missouri later on this evening. But right now here in Miami, things are not too bad. Traffic is moving along pretty nicely. It's certainly cold, and the wind has come around to the northeast now, helping drive in that colder air. So I would suspect that the transition to snow will probably begin to occur over the next hour or so here in the Miami area. Back to you.
All right, Sam, be careful out there. Thanks. McDonald County, Missouri School District let out early today due to the incoming weather. Officials say there's about 60 bus routes to take students home, plus there are the students who drive or get picked up. School leaders say it made sense to dismiss early to help keep everyone safe. They say the district does not plan to make a decision about whether to have school tomorrow until in the morning. Authorities in Cherokee County, Kansas yesterday arrested a juvenile wanted for homicide out of Georgia. The suspect was wanted out of Henry County for felony murder, homicide by vehicle in the first degree, attempting to elude police, and felony theft. Officers found the suspect in a home in Baxter Springs and arrested him after 3 hours of asking him to come out. Authorities are waiting to extradite the suspect back to Georgia. A woman in the house was also arrested. At least 7 people are dead after a mass shooting at a mushroom farm in Half Moon Bay, California, that's south of San Francisco. That suspect turned himself in, and it's believed he worked at the facility. This comes just 2 days after 11 people were killed, 9 injured during Lunar New Year celebrations outside of Los Angeles. Police have not released motives for either shooting, but allegedly perpetrated by men of retirement age. Documents marked classified found in the Indiana home of former Vice President Mike Pence have been turned over to the FBI. The development comes as the White House faces an onslaught of questions about the discovery of classified material found in President Biden's Wilmington, Delaware home and a D.C. office. Skylar Henry reports from Washington.
CBS News has confirmed documents with classified markings were found at former Vice President Mike Pence's home in Indiana.
The handling of classified material is a very serious issue for our nation.
The disclosure comes 2 weeks after Pence sat down with CBS News, expressing confidence no such materials were in his possession.
Our staff reviewed all of the materials in our office and in our residence to ensure that there were no classified materials that left the White House.
Days after that interview, sources tell CBS News a lawyer located the classified papers, checking 4 boxes at the Carmel, Indiana home at Pence's request. On January 18th, another Pence lawyer wrote the National Archives about the discovery, and FBI agents picked up the material on the 22nd.
I don't know how this happened. We need to get to the bottom of it. I don't believe for a minute that Mike Pence is trying to intentionally compromise national security.
The revelation from Pence, on top of the classified material discovered at President Biden's Delaware home and former D.C. office, has a lot of lawmakers talking and some taking sides.
We don't know what's in these documents, obviously, and I think the American people have a right to know at least the general subject matter.
The DOJ has assigned a special counsel to Biden's case.
I think that the president will provide more information and explanation.
And another to the classified material found in an FBI search of former President Trump's Mar-a-Lago home. Skyler Henry, CBS News, the White House.
In a message on his social media platform, the former president wrote, quote, "Mike Pence is an innocent man. He never did anything knowingly dishonest in his life. Leave him alone," end quote. Coming up in Health Watch, raising awareness about a common eye problem.
It's Glaucoma Awareness Month. I'm Dan Lieberman with who's at risk for the leading cause of vision loss.
And later, how many internet providers include unnecessary fees in the bills of customers. Topping today's Health Watch, in this age of COVID-19, kids have been spending more time on computers and smartphones. A new study out of Japan indicates that more screen time at age 2 is associated with poorer communication and daily living skills by the age of 4. The findings, to be published in JAMA Pediatrics, also show outdoor play can reduce some of the negative impacts by almost 20%. January is Glaucoma Awareness Month. Reporter Dan Lieberman explains who is at risk for the eye disease and what treatment options are available.
Glaucoma is a leading cause of vision loss and blindness in the U.S. It's a disease that damages your eye's optic nerve. About 3 million Americans have glaucoma, but usually there are no early symptoms, so about half of people don't know they have it. Open-angle glaucoma is the most common form and causes increased eye pressure. Anybody can develop glaucoma, but certain groups are at higher risk, including adults over 60 years old, African Americans over age 40, people with diabetes, and people with a family history of the disease. There are some things you can do to prevent vision loss. Get a comprehensive dilated eye exam to detect glaucoma early so you can begin treatment right away. Prescription eye drops can stop the disease from progressing. And it's recommended, even if you're not in a high-risk group, to get your eyes checked by the age of 40. It can help catch glaucoma and other eye diseases sooner. Dan Lieberman, CBS News, New York.
Staying at a healthy weight, exercising, controlling blood pressure, and not smoking are all ways to also try to avoid vision loss from glaucoma. These lifestyle choices can also help prevent type 2 diabetes. Moderate and vigorous physical activity in midlife can help boost brain power. That's according to new research published in the Journal of Epidemiology and Community Health. Researchers found this exercise intensity level in older adults helps protect the brain from decline, whereas dropping it just 6 to 7 minutes daily and opting for light activity or sedentary behavior is associated with poorer cognitive performance. A new study finds regular physical activity can lessen the occurrence and severity of respiratory infections in children. Researchers in Poland tracked more than 100 children between the ages of 4 and 7 from 2018 to 2019. They found that kids with higher activity levels spent fewer days sick. And that is a look at today's health news. A little bit later, the Joplin Chamber of Commerce gives local business owners a chance to connect with each other.
Plus, snow continues to increase as we go through the evening hours. Details coming up. Well, of course, the rain has been picking up across the region over the past couple hours. Even some areas have had some snow mixing in, but majority of us have been rain, which you can see right now at Indigo Sky Casino and Resort just outside of Seneca, Missouri. Temperatures dropping. We're in the mid-30s. Moisture is definitely picking up. It's kind of an ugly radar because you have just kind of in the greenish, bluish, light blue, you got rain, and then in the white and the darker blue, it is all snow. So the snow is kind of overtaking from south to north as the dynamics of this storm system are a little bit stronger once you get closer to it. So let's go into the metro. We got light rain. Here's Joplin, Neosho, Carthage, and then just little bits of sprinkles once you get out toward Pittsburgh, down toward Miami. Once you get to Oswego, it switches over to light snow. And you can see mainly light rain on the Kansas side. If we track into Oklahoma, you start to switch over to light snow, Nowata County over toward Craig County. And then back in southwestern Missouri, again, mainly rain, Stockton, Lamar to Mount Vernon. Just south of Springfield, Mount Vernon, Monette, you switch over to moderate to heavy snow. Cassville back through McDonald County and then into Benton County. So this is actually going to kind of surge northeast and overtake the region as we go into the overnight hours. Look at this dark blue once you get down near Fort Smith. And this is where the heaviest snow is going to be because that is very convective, getting 1 to 2 inches of snow per hour. All this is going to rotate off toward the north and to the east, severe weather down to our south, and we are in what's called the comma head. If you look at the storm, it looks like a comma, and the comma head is what's going to give us our snow as we go through the overnight hours tonight. So snow chances going way up. Next several hours, slowly start to taper off 3, 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, but we are going to get several hours of at least light to moderate snow across the region. Temperatures, mid-30s, will hang out near 32-ish for an overnight low. In Joplin, we have rain, 36, winds are pretty much calm. Humidity, of course, is up there at 89%. All right, let's go through time. We'll stop at midnight. This point in time, everybody should be snow. In the pink here, maybe a few drops mixing in, but light to moderate snow. As we continue through the overnight hours, so here's 3:30 in the morning, light to moderate snow continues across the region. As we go into the morning hours, starts to shrink, you dry out on the Kansas side. In Missouri, you wake up with light snow, and then most of this is gone by 9, 10, 11 in the morning hours. And then we just kind of stick around with some flurries, and our temperatures really don't go anywhere for highs tomorrow. We kind of hang out into the 30s, eventually down into lower 20s later on tonight. All right, snowfall forecast. Not a whole bunch has changed. We need to see where those heavy bands come in, but I really think from Bartlesville to Fredonia, Chanute, Parsons, Pittsburgh, Nevada, Fort Scott, you guys are all in that 1 to 3 inch band. Now, if you live closer to this blue line, that means you'll be closer to 3 inches. I think really from Columbus, Miami, Grand Lake, Neosho, Joplin, Carthage, Mount Vernon, 3 upwards to 6 inches. Once you get a little closer to our southern counties, closer to 6, and Bentonville, parts of McDonald County, 6 to 9 inches of snow, as it's really going to pile up in our southern counties. So snow in the morning, then just cloudy skies hanging out in the mid to upper 30s for highs. Be careful if you're going to be on the roadways. We'll make it an alert day tomorrow just because we are going to have some bad roads. 20 tomorrow night, 38 on Thursday. Friday looks good. Another storm system moves in for the weekend.
Wow, a lot to keep our eyes on over the coming days.
A lot to watch.
Thanks, Doug. Chinese researchers believe the Earth's inner core might have reversed its rotation. The researchers analyzed seismic waves created by earthquakes as they passed through the planet along similar paths since the 1960s. They found the inner core's rotation stopped between 2009 and 2020 and may have even reversed direction. The researchers believe such a reversal generally takes place every 7 decades, give or take. Coming up, some things to look out for to avoid unnecessary fees on your internet bill. First, though, we honor a local veteran. Alvin Knight served in the U.S. Navy from 1943 to 1945. The St. Paul, Kansas native was stationed on the USS Missouri, and we salute gunner's mate Alvin Knight, a four-state hero. Topping today's Consumer Watch, the Joplin Chamber of Commerce today hosted its 30th annual Business Expo. Nearly 110 exhibitors were on hand at Downstream Casino Resort. Today was focused on connecting businesses with each other. Tomorrow is going to give consumers a chance to check out the businesses.
To come out and connect with members of the community so they can educate those individuals on the different resources and services that are provided in the four states area. And it's also a great opportunity for business-to-business relationship building.
The theme for this year's expo is Find Your Treasure in Joplin. Expo marks the spot. It'll open to the public tomorrow from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. The Justice Department and 8 states are suing Google, alleging that its dominance in digital advertising harms competition as well as consumers and advertisers, including the U.S. government. The suit accuses Google of unlawfully monopolizing the way ads are served online by excluding competitors. The Senate is putting America's leading ticket seller in the hot seat. Ticketmaster's grip on ticket sales and its move to cancel sales of Taylor Swift's tour were the focus of an antitrust hearing today. Ticketmaster and its parent company, Live Nation, control about 70% of all live event ticket sales. If you take a look at your bill from your internet provider, you might find some charges you don't really recognize. Researchers at Consumer Reports poured over thousands of bills and say many contain unnecessary fees. Christine Lazar reports.
It feels like we can't live without it, but many can't keep up with the cost of internet service. Consumer Reports looked at internet bills from all different providers across the country and found the average price for home internet is now about $75 a month.
And that's expensive. That's a lot to pay for internet service. And why? Because pretty much there's no one telling internet service providers what they can and cannot charge you.
Jonathan Schwantes is a senior policy counsel for Consumer Reports. He says after studying more than 22,000 bills submitted by consumers from all 50 states to its Fight for Fair Internet project, Consumer Reports found that many providers keep bills high with so-called junk fees.
And they have very sneaky names like the Internet Infrastructure Surcharge or the Technology Service Fee. And you kind of think, like, that sounds kind of legitimate. Maybe that's a government fee. It's not.
Schwantes says the fees are legal, but he believes they aren't ethical and are used to pad profits. The study also found rates vary by market and are especially high when there aren't a lot of choices for providers. Prices can be arbitrary. In many instances, providers charge different prices for the exact same plan. Finally, many of the bills collected included add-on fees for data overages and equipment. The Federal Trade Commission is currently looking into those junk fees. It defines them as unnecessary or surprise charges that inflate costs while adding little to no value. Christine Lazar, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Final check of that forecast next. Up next on the CBS Evening News, reaction from former President Trump over the classified documents found at the home of his former vice president. Then tonight at 6, we're going to get a look into the day in the life of a firefighter. KOAM's Amber Jenkins spent a day with Joplin's firefighters to see what their job is like. Plus, we're going to have more on how McDonald County schools are preparing for the winter storm. And we're going to hear from the Missouri Southern Lions basketball teams as they split a doubleheader with Lincoln yesterday. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. Some of us getting a bit of snow out there at the moment, more snow on the way.
Yeah, most of us still picking up light rain with a little bit of light snow mixing in. We'll continue to see that transition over to all light to moderate snow as we go through the next few hours, and then this will stick around till early tomorrow morning. Northern half of the region, 1 to 3 inches. Through the heart of the area, 3 to 6 inches of slushy snow. Overnight low right around 32.
Thanks for joining us. The CBS Evening News is next. And of course, we're going to be right back here for KOAM News at 6 We'll see you then. Be careful out there, and let's make it a great evening.